Welcome to the Desert Vision. I'm Sergeant Roland Sabrapenya. On this edition, we'll bring you to Kazakhstan for exercise Steppe Eagle. We'll sit down with the first cantor of the Army Chaplain Corps and highlight soldiers of the 3rd Army Arson Team as they earn their American citizenship. All this and more on this edition of the Desert Vision. I recently visited with Chaplain Fromer of the Zone 6 Chapel on Camp Arifjan, where they are celebrating the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. Here in the Zone 6 Chapel in Camp Arifjan, Kuwait, Chaplain David Fromer leads the celebration in prayers and song. Chaplain Fromer is a military chaplain and a cantor. In fact, he is the first cantor to serve in the Army Chaplain Corps.
So a cantor is a clergy person in Judaism who is entrusted with all the musical aspects of worship and of sacred action and sacred time.
While taking a break from his pastoral services, Chaplain Fromer reflects on his role as being the first cantor in the Army.
Being the first of anything that you do. And that's a wonderful opportunity to educate people and to dialogue with them about what the unique things that cantors bring to the fight are and how they can help soldiers in really unprecedented ways.
Chaplain Fromer represents the first in the Army Chaplain Corps with his specialty in music. I'm Sergeant Roland Sabrapenya, Arson Public Affairs. Exercise Steppe Eagle is a multinational armed forces exercise that takes place in Kazakhstan. Sergeant Ben Kelly was there to bring you this report.
Camp Iliski in Kazakhstan was the site for a yearly training event called Steppe Eagle. Steppe Eagle is more than just a series of training evolutions put on by military experts. It's about international military communities spending time with one another, trading ideas on tactics, techniques, and procedures. And most importantly, it's about sharing culture.
This is a unique opportunity for us to build partner capacity. That's the intent of U.S. Arson, and we've been working towards that goal for a while with the Kazakhstani Army.
U.S. Army soldier specialist D. Felice was born in Russia and is visiting Kazakhstan for the first time.
It's very interesting and fun for me because I always wanted to come to Almaty, and I've never experienced Kazakh or Russian army, and it's very interesting for me to see how American soldiers and Kazakh soldiers work together.
Every year, Steppe Eagle hosts many nations from around the world. Different perspectives from everyday tasks and drills to emergency operations are shared and discussed between this unique community of soldiers.
Also, what we're trying to do is build confidence within their medic force for future possibility of peacekeeping operations that they may have.
This year, the focus was on peacekeeping operations. The Kazakhstan Peacekeeping Brigade demonstrated their professionalism by successfully tackling the challenges of maintaining security on the modern battlefield.
Exercises like Steppe Eagle are critical to our partner nations developing interoperability with U.S. forces and, in this case, expansion of capability on the peacekeeping end of the operational spectrum.
U.S., Kazakhstan, and other nations tested their soldiering limits through various training simulations and scenarios.
It's very difficult and interesting for us because our platoon never done this experience.
Training events were evaluated by experts from many countries and retired military contractors. Sergeant First Class Justin Zuleta was one of those scenario evaluators.
This is my first opportunity. It's a beautiful and amazing country. Очень красиво, очень хорошо.
Reporting for Arson Public Affairs, I'm Sergeant Ben Kelly.
For me, communication is like the most important key on the whole army. Like, it's the only way we can get success and accomplishment of every mission we can do.
Communicate, it involves relationships, and it means building strong bridges and trust between people so that we can reach toward common goals. and find common solutions toward shared problems.
It means communicating with ourselves, internal to the command, so that we're communicating the same message. This communication should be the same across all spectrums of operation. Third Army has a global audience interested in what we do in the Middle East. It's imperative that we communicate the correct message at all levels.
Good communication is the basis for all we do here in ARCENT. As a soldier undergoing multiple transitions within my organization, good communication is the key to our overall success.
Bottom line, effective communication is a two-way street. We have to effectively communicate our plans, orders, down to the lowest level, and we have to listen to the lowest level with any concerns, basically down to the lowest level to make sure they understand what it is that we are communicating. The greatest plan in the world is probably not going to work if we don't effectively communicate the plan to all those soldiers that are going to be executing the plan.
Early in September, there was a spiritual fitness breakfast in the dining facility of Camp Buehring, Kuwait. Specialist Derek Ramey takes us to that story.
On September 1st, soldiers from Camp Buehring, Kuwait attended a spiritual fitness breakfast. The breakfast highlighted the significance of spiritual resiliency.
I think it's very important because to be put in an adverse situation like in a deployment, whether it's they're being single and now it's the first time they're away from their family, or whether they're a married soldier and it's the first time they're away from their real close family, their wife and children, for them to have other brothers and sisters in the uniform to not only grow with, but also to have something on an internal standpoint to be able to grow from.
Trying to break you, trying to eliminate your ability to resist that which is being pushed upon you. And I want to tell you that you can resist if you're strong enough. And you can only be strong enough if you've been exercising your spirit along the way.
And obviously for different people, spirituality will mean different things, but particularly when soldiers are experiencing difficulties in life, when there's a family problem or a spiritual issue going on in their life. So as they rely on things like prayer and spiritual disciplines and worship, or talk to chaplains or talk to other people of faith, and they're able to be encouraged in that, I think it helps them make it through everything that life can throw at you.
Reporting from Camp Buehring, Kuwait, I'm Specialist Derek Ramey.
That was uplifting. Next, Sergeant Kelly takes us to the Suicide Awareness 5K run.
September marks the month the United States Army takes pause to raise awareness of suicides within the ranks. Camp Arif John Kuwait commemorated this month with a 5K run and walk.
You made a decision to become a part of a team. That team needs every single one of you. And every single one of you make up a part of our force that is here to live for its country.
Participants from all over posts and from all branches turned out to show support for the Suicide Awareness Run. Reporting for ARCENT Public Affairs, I'm Sergeant Ben Kelly.
Next is the Blackjack Express with Specialist Kelsey Jeffers.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of the 1st Theater Sustainment Command's Blackjack Express. I'm Specialist Kelsey Jeffers. Coming up on this edition, we'll tell you how some families and soldiers of the 1st TSC were able to relax and learn how to strengthen their relationships, all while enjoying a well-deserved mini-vacation. Also coming your way, did you know that this year alone, more than 200,000 Americans will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and 40,000 will die from the disease? I'll tell you more startling details during our Did You Know segment. But first, the Commanding General of the 1st Theater Sustainment Command, Major General Kurt Stein, recently talked about his concern with the increasing number of suicides we as an Army are experiencing. In an effort to help prevent suicides within our 1st Team family, the 1st Theater Sustainment Command took a proactive approach by inviting military family life consultants, chaplains, and master resiliency trainers to talk about real-life situations and put into perspective the reality of obstacles soldiers may face in life, both while deployed and at home. Sergeant First Class Kimberly Cooper Williams has more on the story.
Since the beginning of 2012, there have been 226 suicides across the Army. To help combat this disturbing trend, the 1st TSC held classes that taught different ways to overcome the obstacles in life and to remain positive. The training also ensured soldiers are aware of the many resources available to them.
Understanding that although we do wear a common uniform, regardless of rank, we suffer, we end up with issues that will overwhelm us, and in the long run, if we can reach out to each other in community, we're able to save lives.
This is still going to ask them why kids college.
Interactive-based training and the use of different scenarios taught soldiers about resiliency.
Sergeant, I'll hit this one. How many male soldiers in here have daughters? Raise your hand, raise your hand. You're going to be proud of your babies. All right. How many have daughters who are old enough to date? Ooh, see? She got to be 35.
The training helped shed light on the reality of suicide and what each person must do to prevent one life from being lost to this tragedy. Because one life is one life too many. Reporting for the 1st Theater Sustainment Command at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I'm Sergeant First Class Kimberly Cooper Williams.
There are a multitude of agencies set up to help you or someone you know that may need help. To talk to someone 24 hours a day, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. Again, that's 1-800-273-TALK. And Battle Buddies, remember ACE, Act, Care, and Escort. Did you know that every 14 minutes someone will find out that they have breast cancer? Of the 40,000 people in America that will die this year because of the disease, 800 of them will be men. While having no family history of breast cancer, 85% of the people diagnosed with the disease will not have a family history. These numbers may be staggering, but there is hope. According to the American Cancer Society, as of 2010, there are more than 2.5 million breast cancer survivors in the United States. One of the most shocking facts is that many of these survivors detected a problem on their own during a monthly self-breast exam. Early detection is the key. Women ages 40 and above should have a yearly breast exam and mammogram to increase their chances of early detection. All women should ensure they are doing monthly self-breast exams. You are more likely to detect changes in your breast health, such as lumps, disproportion, and shape changes than your healthcare provider. If you think there is a problem, don't be afraid to talk to your healthcare provider. It is better to know earlier rather than later because the chances of survival decrease dramatically. While 1 in 8 women will find out they have breast cancer, your hands have the power to help save your life. For more information, facts, and statistics about breast cancer, visit the American Cancer Society at www.cancer.org or talk to your healthcare provider. Together, we can make a difference. It may be approaching fall, but a group of soldiers and their families spent a water-filled weekend away from Fort Bragg to decompress, but also learn some valuable information about the art of communication and resiliency. Specialist James Bowen Jr. has the story.
Single and married soldiers and families of the 1st TSC gathered together at the Great Wolf Lodge in Concord, North Carolina for a Strong Bonds retreat. The 3-day event, hosted by the 1st TSC Chaplain section, focused on building communication skills for healthier connections between significant others.
You go there, you get away from work to relax, you get to spend time with your peers and get to know your peers and significant others. Bring your children. It could be family time for anybody because I know some people are still caught up with work, so it's a chance to get away.
Single soldiers who participated in the event focused on understanding personality types by learning how different people think and react.
Seeing as how I'm getting married soon, I think it gave me a better understanding of my fiance or wife-to-be and to help me understand myself as far as where I stand and what my personality was like.
In the end, married couples learned the value of a strong communication-based relationship, while single soldiers took a deeper look into themselves, all while unwinding and bonding. Reporting from the Great Wolf Lodge in Concord, North Carolina, I'm Specialist James Bowen Jr.
For more information about Strong Bonds or how you can participate in an event, visit your unit chaplain's office or go to www.strongbonds.org. If there is an open slot, you can participate even if it is not your own unit. Well, that's all the time we have for now. Thanks for watching. Stay up on the latest news by logging onto our Facebook page, keywords 1st Theater Sustainment Command. See you next time, 1st Team. Now back to the Desert Vision.
Finally, 7 soldiers earned their American citizenship in a naturalization ceremony in Camp Arif Jan, Kuwait. Sergeant Adam Stone reports.
It's always special when soldiers serving in the United States Army become American citizens. 7 soldiers took the oath of citizenship at Camp Arif Jan, Kuwait today. They serve as everything from infantrymen to combat medics and artillerymen to drivers. Now, they serve as citizens of the United States. Specialist Ian Desegano knows that future Americans are looking to him as an example.
Help our country as much as we can. Be an example of a great American and set example for the next people who are wanting to be Americans.
Brigadier General Charles Taylor, the 3rd Army Chief of Staff, told these new citizens that no one can question their commitment to the United States.
So again, I can't tell any of you about what commitment is. Your personal journeys to citizenship reinforces that freedom is not free. Your personal commitment to this American dream knows that this is a journey and not a destination.
From Camp Arif Jan, Kuwait, I'm Sergeant First Class Adam Stone.
Congratulations to those new American soldiers. Well, that's it for this edition of the Desert Vision. Tell us how we're doing on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Arson3News. I'm Sergeant Roland Sobrepena.